Hello and welcome back to Literally Heinous. We have an OG Haniac on the pod. She's back on the pod. She hasn't been on for a couple years. It's her first time in the stew. Please welcome my mom, Sarah Galambos.
Happy to be here, and I gave birth to the OG Lit Hain lady.
Yes, this is my mother. She was, I think you are my first guest.
Yeah.
On Literally Heinous when I gave birth. So you're back on your grandchild, Literally Heinous.
A second tour.
Yes. So welcome to New York City. My mom lives in Atlanta, which is where I'm from and where I was born, and she's visiting New York. So how would you say, how's your week been in New York City?
It's been fun. It's been a mixed bag of emotions. I think maybe New York brings that out. There has been the highest of highs, some full circle moments, and I've also stood on the street with all my luggage and cried and asked strangers to help me.
Yeah. That's a very typical New York experience. That's what I was telling her. So my mom came here actually on business. Her business coach held a 2-day retreat earlier this week. So my mom was staying in Tribeca. And she was struggling to get to one of the locations. She wasn't crying on the street because I didn't help her. Okay. I don't want people to think that I just stranded my mom on the streets. That is not my fault.
No, it's my fault because I don't know how to read maps very well. So personal responsibility.
But crying in the streets of New York is a very typical experience. So
I'm a native now.
You are a native now. And why don't you tell, so you had a full circle moment when you were here. So John Travolta.
Yes, John Travolta knows me. That is my claim to fame. And in 1996, I was here with your dad and your aunts and your grandmother, Gaga. And we went to a very fancy restaurant, Il Molino. And I have always, little backstory, I grew up on Grease, and I would perform the whole movie as much as people would watch. I knew all the lines. I think Ann or Molly took me to see it for the first time. I was obsessed with John Travolta. So we're sitting in Il Molino. It is 1996, and your dad says to me, Sarah, do not freak out, but John Travolta just walked in, and I lost my shit. And so, of course, we have our Kodak cameras.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to take, scenic pictures of the restaurant and get John Travolta in the frame. And I must say, Kelly Preston, God rest her soul, eclipsed him. She is, without a doubt, the most beautiful human being I've ever seen in real life. She glowed. So I waited until she went to the ladies' room, swooped into her seat.
Oh my God.
I did, and proceeded to tell John Travolta that he was the soundtrack of my childhood and told him a little bit about my Grease obsession. And he was so nice.
Yeah.
And he beamed, actually, and engaged in the conversation a little bit. And your dad took a picture that I still have. We ought to show that. And he was just delightful. And he had just finished Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, and we have this picture blown up, and in the house we had growing up, that picture was on the stairwell. You know how most suburban families, they'll have pictures lining the stairwell, and we did have those, but the biggest one was the one of you and John Travolta. And I thought it was cool because I knew him from Grease and then from Hairspray when he played the mom in Hairspray. And then as I got older and got into Pulp Fiction, now when I see that picture in my head, he looks like his character in Pulp Fiction.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly how he looked in the picture.
So he had gone through a slump. He hadn't been anything, notable in a while, or at least that was pop culture notable. So Pulp Fiction was his big comeback.
Yeah.
So he was the hottest thing at the moment. And he knows me.
Yeah. So iconic.
So the full circle moment for me was, that was in 1996, and I was a different person living a different life. And in 2026, I am, dressed in my little writing retreat outfit, flowy scarf, and I'm walking to the venue, and I'm thinking about how far I've come, how much I've transformed, and how different I am now. And I, just kind of glance up, and I am standing under the restaurant arch of Il Molino. And I stopped in my tracks, and I just paused for a moment to appreciate that full circle everything, everywhere, all at once moment.
Totally. So that was 30 years ago, exactly, 1996. So if you don't mind sharing your age, the Haniacs, we welcome people of all ages, by the way. So you were how old in
I
that?
am 56.
And so then you were 26 when that happened. That seems so young. That's younger than I am.
2 years before you were born.
So what do you think your 26-year-old self would think about you now?
Gosh, I think that she would think that I was maybe inspirational a little bit, like empowering, because I think that she would be able to see the trajectory of the arc of where I was here, and then, you know, kind of through the years, a little that dip, and then the rise back up into knowing myself, knowing my purpose on the planet, and knowing who I want to serve and how I want to serve them. And I think she might be pretty impressed or awed by that, maybe.
I think she totally would have been.
Definitely didn't expect it.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think that your 26-year-old self would think she would have been doing 30 years later?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You know, maybe still substitute teaching and, you know, involved in the life that we had been involved in, just more so. And, you know, not to throw shade, but not as fulfilled and not, you know, living her life according to her. You know, it's all hindsight, of course, but, you know, I think I've changed so much because had become stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the Haniacs a little bit about the business that you've been developing and what you've been up to the last few years?
Okay, well, it's Soul Stretch Retreats, and, you know, I kind of say it's built on the back of heartbreak and hope. And I really, in 2012, when we divorced, I started a healing journey. I knew that, and I'd known previous, like, that there was something in me that was unwell, sick, and, you know, mentally, emotionally. And so when I was able to really focus on me, I started that healing journey. And that's what I help people do. I help people kind of reach back in time and really gently unravel the wounding and the trauma so that we activate them to heal, and they can do that inner work in their internal landscape, because really that's the only thing on this planet that you can control is you and how you show up.
So the core of your business is retreats.
Yes.
And so you run about 4 retreats a year-ish.
Roughly, we're up to 5. So 3 small groups that we have at our places, and then we do 2 groups at Springbank in South Carolina, and then we've started offering private retreats for people that, you know, they've, you know, intimidated to work with a small group, they're not ready, or they've been in the small group and they want more and they want to go deeper.
So when you say we, who are you talking about?
I am talking about Michael, your sweet stepfather. He is my soulmate and my but he mixes up words, and so he calls us flame mates, like twin flame soulmates. We're flame mates.
That's so cute.
Isn't that cute?
He is the king of mixed metaphors.
He is the king of mixed metaphors, for sure. And he's been on the healing journey with me. You know, he is a scientist, a hepatologist, a gastroenterologist, so he had that kind of fixed mindset. And he watched me over the years really step into my intuitive healing gifts. You know, some people would call it woo. I call it multidimensionality. And so he started opening up. So we do it together, and he brings the science to the spirituality, and it's just a really beautiful mix of that kind of work.
Yes. So I went on one of my mom's retreats a few years ago, and I'm due up for another.
You are. Do a tune-up.
Tune up. So she does these amazing retreats. She and Michael works in the North Georgia mountains part-time, where he has a practice. So they do retreats in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Georgia, and it's so gorgeous and just like quiet and chilly and just very campfire vibes. And then they also have a house in Tybee Island, Georgia. Sometimes they rent a house there, so they'll do some retreats that are like quiet beach town vibes. And it's just a lot of fun. The retreats, and if you don't mind if I speak for your business.
Please.
So there's retreats for everyone. There's some retreats that are more entry level, which is what I did, like usually like beginning of the year, kind of like setting goals for the year or just like starting the year off right. And then there's other retreats. You did a retreat that for moms, which was cool, the Mountain Mamas retreat, moms that had lost their way. And then you do some retreats that are a little more intense, like inner child work and
grief. We've done a grief retreat where people can really dig into that and learn to be comfortable with grief as a process. And that's, releasing a lot of really deep emotions, the anger, the resentment, the shadow stuff that really people don't want to identify with or even acknowledge because it can be painful. And that's why at the very beginning I said we gently unravel with a lot of love, a lot of compassion, and absolutely zero shame or blame.
Yeah. I think that, I think people even just going on retreats is a huge step. How often would you say that people reach out to you and then get skittish and you don't hear from them?
Funny you should ask. In January, we always get an influx of calls with the new year. And it was the beginning of February. I had 3 people that I talked to that were all in that actually asked me to send invoices and then ghosted.
Yeah.
So, I would say, I don't even know a percentage, but, a good handful of people really love the idea.
Yeah.
And they love, the knowing of, okay, that we're going to go through this journey together and this, these people are kind and compassionate, it'll be gentle, and I can get some real work done. And then I think when it comes down to actually doing it, people get the yips.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get afraid of what they'll uncover.
Right.
Were there any parts in your healing journey when you were like, I don't even want to open that door?
100%. Yes. And sometimes I would slam a door shut and I would go on about my business, and then the universe would present the opportunity again. And what I've learned is that the universe will keep presenting those opportunities until you do it.
Yeah.
And they'll present it. The presentation will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Like more noticeable each time. Like it starts as a little tap.
Yeah.
And then it might become a, and then it might become a da 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 da.
Yeah.
Until you surrender, you start to do the work, and then you go through that. It's, a very daunting part of the journey. And when you have somebody like us that are people like us that are kind and gentle, you can move through that easier. And then on the other side of that is the freedom and the liberation. And that's how so many people that are healers are in this space. They sell the end result.
Yeah.
And so that's very, very attractive. It's alluring and people want it. But a lot of times they don't tell you what happens in that in-between space. And it's not fun, and it's not sexy. It's not exciting. It's really scary. And that's why it's so important to have guides that have been there and gone through it. And that's what we are.
So how does it work? Like, I know the beginning, so usually like there's something in your past or something that happened or something about yourself that you don't want to confront, and then you make the decision to confront it so that you can overcome it. What is that middle part, and how do you do that, and what does it look like?
That middle part is typically, kind of going back and doing a little bit of forensics around where did it start, and what was the first time you felt ashamed or embarrassed or not good enough. And we just kind of gently go back and start connecting the dots around that. And depending on where you are, what it is, we would do some inner child work, or we would do mindset work, or we might do reprogramming for your values and belief systems. And it's the gift that we have that I think the most proud of is my ability to meet people where they are, because I have been through every single stage of this and survived it and am thriving. So I can meet people where they are, and I can identify really what they need, and it's usually different from what they want. Yeah. And when I can identify what they need, then Michael and I are able to follow the energy. And so it's really, unique to each person, because each one of us has our own unique energy signature.
Yeah. I feel like talking about shame, or usually the thing is shame. Either shame around something that happened to you, or shame around something that you did, or shame around a part of you that you don't like. And on my last episode, when I talked about my tattoo removal journey, which is so minor, but that was shameful for me, not liking my tattoos. And the second that I talked about it and published an episode about it and talked to you about it, I immediately felt better.
Because shame thrives in the shadows.
Yes.
And it lives in the dark, and that's what it consumes. And so when you shine the light on it, it shrinks. And then when you talk about it, it shrinks more. And everything you do energetically to filter that shame through you, because you're a filter, not a container, releases that shame energetically in your body, and it begins to dissipate.
Yeah.
And so depending on how much you're carrying, and like you said, from different sources, and sometimes it could be something that was passed on generationally that's not even yours, you're able to move through that. And it's kind of like, you know, you do one layer and you clear it and you recalibrate and you up level and you live your life, and then the next thing comes along. And you know, it's a spiral. The healing journey is not linear. It's not like grades in school. It is definitely, and I like to use a spiral up. And you will spiral up when you clear something and you recalibrate, and then you'll drop to clear the next thing, and then you'll spiral up. But every time you spiral up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
From 2012 to 2026, the shame that I carry is that, as opposed to that.
Is there an example of some shame that you had that you've overcome that you feel comfortable sharing with the Haniacs?
You know what? It happened yesterday. When I got turned around, was on the way to the second day of the writing retreat, and I got turned around and, walked way out of the way, and I've got a huge suitcase with a backpack on it and a purse over my shoulders. And I got really teary, and I'm probably going to get teary again, because it reminded me of a time in 5th grade when I was auditioning for a play at school, and I was so excited. And I packed a suitcase with like different outfits and different props, and I was so into it. And we had the auditions, and I'm going to cry. And I packed my suitcase back up, and I was late for math, and I went running in there with my suitcase, and I opened the door, and Miss Hasty looked at me, and she goes, "You are such a show-off." In front of the whole class. My heart's pounding right now.
Aww.
And when I was doing this work in the beginning, one of the exercises in the Artist Way, which I highly recommend, was going back through your history and making a shame hall of fame. And the first person in my shame hall of fame was Miss Hasty, because in that moment I was so excited and so proud, but in that moment when she said that, I shrank that big. And there was a part of me, not that died, but that went really dark and quiet, because I felt like it was not okay to be excited. It was being a show off. And so even when I was going to this writing retreat, like I'll carry a certain bag and I put my computer in it and do these things. And I was like, well, maybe that bag's too flashy and I shouldn't carry it. And I'm like, I am not dimming my light anymore. I'm just not going to do it. And if they think it's flashy, if they think I'm signaling whatever, I just don't care anymore, because I have healed that shame monster in that part. And I'm okay now just being me. And everybody's going to have different thoughts about how I'm showing up. And I thought, if I don't carry that bag that I usually carry, then I am playing into that. Let me be small and nobody notice me, and life is way too short.
No, I'm so glad. And you wear the best outfits. You've always and you're the type to be like, when I was little, if I had a new outfit, or like high school, whatever, like I'd come home from school, you'd be like, so what everyone say about your new shirt? Like, what everyone say about your haircut? And it's just very important to be like that. And especially in that's also what I love about New York too, is like you can wear anything here, you can do anything, you can be the most, and no one says anything about it. And if anything, you're always gonna look boring next to some random, any given person on the train.
Right. And I just think, it's I'm being the most me that I am I'm comfortable in my skin. These are the things that I like, and I feel good in them.
Yeah.
And I'm okay on the inside now.
Yeah.
And so, I will, take a little, make a flinch or take a little hit if I hear something negative about myself, but I won't spiral.
Yeah.
Like I used to.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you had some crazy schooling experiences. So you were a Catholic school in Kentucky gal. You had 4 older siblings. You were an accident baby.
Mom denied that when I asked her about it last time. I'm like, you've told me that story forever, and now you're like gaslighting me now? Like, it's reverse gaslighting.
Yeah. For all this. So what was that like, being the baby of the family? Or I guess Sal and grandfather were relatively older when they had you.
Yeah, Mom was 33, which would have made Dad 38. It's funny, a lot of my healing has been around that, being the baby in a family that was extremely chaotic and vibrant and disorganized. And I really kind of, when I tapped into what the real issue was with me, it was, on one hand, I was adored as the baby, and on the other hand, because the family was so chaotic, I was ignored.
Yeah.
So, and I never knew which one it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it was not stable.
Yeah. So you went to Catholic school pretty much your whole life, right?
K through 8. So K through half of 6th grade was Mary Queen of the Holy Rosary. And then I went 7th and 8th grade to Our Lady of Perpetual Help.
Oh.
In Chattanooga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will you tell the story about when you hid in the laundry?
Yeah. So that is one of the best family lore stories. We lived way out in the country in Lexington, and it had, I don't know if it had snowed. I remember it being winter, and I didn't want to go to school, so I hid in a hamper in one of my sister's bedrooms. And I could hear the whole family looking for me so that we could get off and go to school. And I sat in that hamper. Details vary according to which sibling you talk to and me. But I hid in that hamper for a long time. And I heard footsteps getting closer, and I got smaller, and I shrunk. And the hamper opened, and Thad looked in there, and I went, shh. And he shut the hamper. He's like, I don't see her anywhere.
Oh, my God.
And that went on, for however long, and long enough we didn't have to go to school that day.
That is the craziest story. If that happened now, there would have been like a search party. Right. Like, why didn't was Sal not like freaking out? How did she know you were just in the house hiding?
Eventually, I guess, I don't know if I popped out or if somebody else found me. And that would be interesting to ask the others what their experience of it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I could get lost. And it was like, oh, Sarah who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they called you?
Yeah. And I actually had to tell Michael to quit calling me that about a year and a half ago. I was like, I don't like that. It makes me feel invisible.
Yeah. Well, don't call her Sarah who, okay? So I want to go back to the retreats really quickly and just touch on this. But I wanted to ask, what is one thing that you've surprised yourself at being good at that you didn't expect to?
One thing I've surprised myself at being good at, I think, is being able to really and truly connect with people on a soul level. It surprises me that I can see a person, a human being, as a soul, and not as all the circumstances that made them. And I believe in redemption, and I believe that everybody deserves grace, and I believe that everybody deserves compassion, and those things surprise me because I was so dissociated from myself and my body when when I really turned 14 and the substance abuse started. I completely was dissociated from 14 to probably my early 40s, and it just surprises me what it's like to live inside my body and be comfortable here and being able to transmit that to others and help them transform. Like me, I get to do that. Wow.
Yeah, that is really great.
And another thing that really surprises me is that I really do have these energetic healing gifts. And not to say that I can heal you, though I can definitely activate within you your ability to heal yourself. For example, at the writing retreat yesterday, one of the gals there was sharing whatever she shared, and I gave my response to her, and she goes, "Oh my God, I have chills." And I said, in my world, when you have chills, that means that something has resonated with you and you're clearing something or something's downloaded. It's an energetic activation. She goes, "Oh my God, my whole body is chilling."
Oh my God.
She's like, "Oh my God." And I said, well, that's how you know that it's being impacted. Your energy is being impacted. And you're either downloading something or you're releasing something. And maybe for her, it was a combination of both. And that shocks me when people tell me they feel white light when I'm around. They feel a beam of energy. They feel calmer. So with people feeling my energy, and that's real, and it's not just me, surprises me.
Yeah. That is really cool. Is there a particular age group that you've found, or a genre of person that you've found you've bonded with you didn't expect to?
Immediately, Joyce, my little Joyce comes to mind. She's 81, and she marched into her retreat like she owned the damn place. She felt like a gift from Mom, from Sal. It was an immediate soul bond, even on our conversation on the phone before she got there. And so that surprised me. And she said, "I've done the inner child." She's 50 years sober. "I've done inner child. I've done the wounding. I've healed my trauma. I want to do the multidimensional fun stuff, and I want to do it with you." So that was shocking and surprising. And I typically, I've tried to niche down because that's what they tell you, but it doesn't work with what I'm doing. I don't feel, because my purpose is to help people heal, and it doesn't matter your sex, your age, or religious affiliation. None of that matters. You're a soul, and you've come to me to help you.
Yeah.
And that's what I see. Typically, I would say, 30 to 60-ish is the average age. But
Yeah.
I get an 18-year-olds, and I've got an 81-year-old, which is cool because 18 and 81 were first.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is really cool. So you've you've been sober for how long now?
Well, this second phase is going to be 6 years in October, and then the first time I put it down was 2.5 years. So out of the last decade, I've been alcohol-free for 8.5 years.
Yeah,
Thank you.
on that. And I think on our last episode,
Cheers.
like forever ago, we talked about AA and just like how interesting AA is. There's not like I guess there is kind of like a one path to it. You just like stop drinking. Like it's a pretty like.
That's the simplest version.
That's the simplest version. But yeah, you've been to like AA, but I know that AA can be a little like bizarre. What's your take on that?
So when I first started, I was all in, and if anybody said anything against it, I'd be like, blah, 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 and I'd hear the word cult, and I'd be like, it's not a cult, and that's a strong word. And I got to a point in AA, and I was leading meetings with Kate. We had a blast doing that.
Kate's your sister.
Kate, yeah, my sister Kate. And that's how I learned a lot of leadership skills. But I felt like, and I never, ever felt comfortable saying my name is Sarah and I'm an alcoholic. I mean, that word would like...
Yeah.
And I know enough, too, not to label myself. So I'd always say I'm Sarah and I'm gratefully committed to long-term recovery, which felt comfortable for me. But I just felt like I hit a ceiling there.
Yeah.
And the ceiling was, if you don't, stick with the program and say these words and do it this way, you're not doing it right. And that didn't resonate with me at all. So when I put the bottle down the second time, I was just really ready to be done because I'd been given an opportunity, I felt, by the universe to choose, like a red pill, blue pill moment.
Yeah.
Do you want to live this life and, kind of flounder, be stuck in this kind of Groundhog Day and drink and go out and go to dinners and lunches and, work out and, just exist?
Yeah.
Or do you want to use all these gifts you've been given and all these opportunities that the universe is presenting you to live your purpose and your passion? And that was a no-brainer. And so it was just like, okay, I'm done. I've had all the experiences I've need. I will pass the torch.
Yeah. I think that sounds great. So you are kind of the queen of Buckhead. Formerly. Not.
Well, when Paris Hilton was having her day, I was called the Paris Hilton of Buckhead by some people.
So Buckhead is an area in Atlanta, which is where I'm from, and it's in the city of Atlanta, just like a neighborhood in Atlanta, and it is notorious for all the bars, all the nightlife, all the celebrities, beautiful houses, beautiful Chastain Park. And it's so funny going. I haven't lived in Atlanta, like, I guess really since I graduated from high school, and I was just like, oh, Buckhead, like, just where I'm from. And we started kind of like going to the Buckhead bars a little bit when I was in like end of my senior year of high school. But it was funny going back to Atlanta and like meeting people that live in Buckhead for the love of the game. And like, yeah, we live in Buckhead, and like all the bars and everything. I'm like, you people are nothing, okay? My mom used to run these streets. So if you have any Buckhead anecdotes, or were you really called the Paris Hilton of Buckhead?
Well, by like two friends in my friend group.
Okay.
That was not a known thing. Because I wasn't flashy Buckhead beautiful. But I ran the streets in Buckhead, and I had a pack of people that I ran with.
Yeah. What were your favorite bars?
I gotta say Park Bench.
Yeah. And this is, what years are we at?
Park Bench was in the 90s before you, and I am drawing a total and complete blank, and I know there's a person or two that's listening that could list off like 5 places. Yeah. And I just can't right now. I'd have to think about that for a second.
No, that's totally fine.
Oh, the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tavern. And they used to, when a pretty girl walked in, they would throw napkins up in the air.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we would go in and the napkins would go. But then when we got older,
they stopped throwing the napkins.
Ugh. Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that misses being wild and crazy?
No. I don't at all. I feel like I got my fill. Like I am satisfied with all of the experiences, and really and truly I wake up grateful every day that I don't live like that anymore.
Yeah. So as a mother,
but I like to hear about it. I love to hear vicariously. I'm like, ooh, wow, I love that.
Yeah, and that's why it's nice to have a former party girl as a mom, because you never judge, obviously. And if anything, you would kind of encourage me, like, get home at midnight.
Why is so early?
So early, and I'd be like, yeah, I guess. As a mother of 2, how do you balance like wanting your kids to have fun, but also like knowing what you know and being wary?
I pray a lot.
Yeah.
I do a lot of energy work around the both of you for protection. And I watch and I listen.
Yeah.
And not in a judgy way, to your point, but I'm tracking.
Yeah.
And so I know your baselines, and I know when something is afoot. I like to think.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm close enough to both of you. If something starts to go south, that I can kind of ask some gentle questions and see where you are, and if we need to work something out, you all know that you can talk to me.
Yeah, you've really done an amazing job at being there and not feeling like I need to hide stuff from you, or like setting a relationship to where, like, if I'm like, oh my God, I did something horrible, which thankfully we haven't had that conversation in a really long time. But back when I was like in college, I could be like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And you like obviously had been there, understood, and never judged me, and just created an environment where we could talk about it. Because I feel like a lot of moms would be like, why are you drinking so much? Or like, what's going on? And that just causes your kid to close off. So yeah, you did a really good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. That's I think the most important thing for me with you all, and also other people I'm in a relationship with, is that the lanes of communication are always open and they go both ways.
Yeah.
So if I need to say something to you that's uncomfortable, we carve out time and we can do that, and that goes to me as well.
Yeah. That is really great. Yeah, communication's very important, but it is really hard.
It's terrifying.
Why is it so hard?
think because we want everybody just to love us and be happy with us and things to go smoothly. And, you know, with certain people that, you know, you can communicate with, it's so much easier because you know how much relief you're going to feel afterwards. And if somebody's not that way and you need to tell them something so that you can be heard and not be betraying yourself, but you don't know how they're going to react, that need for that primitive need to be a part of the tribe, that's, you know, lower brain, it kicks in. It's completely out of your control.
Okay, let's transition to a fun topic.
Okay.
Let's talk about the wedding.
I was dying. I was like, when are we getting to the wedding?
Okay, so I did an engagement episode a few episodes ago and talked about the surprise proposal and just like how my family on my mom's side, how I'm an events nepo baby. Where do you even begin? But can you share your party philosophy, I guess, is my question, or how you got into, like, you're not just a former party girl, okay? It's anyone can go to bars and be crazy and be friends with the bartenders, but like planning a party and hosting and planning an event it's genetic.
It's in our blood.
It's inherited, it's genetic, it's psychology, it's an art, it's a science. And it's something that we have, which is why planning my wedding has been like what we're born to do. Will you share a little bit about like what a good party means to you and how you got into how it's in your blood?
So some families are circus families. We're a catering family, and that is all we have done. I remember being 12, 14, and when Ann and Dad would cater, I would go and help them do whatever. And I just grew up that way. So in high school, I started working parties. College, you know, worked parties and worked in floral design, and that's, you know, how I made spending money, paid whatever little bills I had. But it's just, I've never not done it. And so it's just natural. And I feel like when you have an event that most people won't remember anything that you said or anything that was said there or what happened there. They remember the feeling that they have, and the feeling that you want to cultivate at an event you have is really one of joy. So how do you bring in little touches that speak to the event that you're having? And I love how you call them unexpected moments of delight.
Surprise and delight.
Yes.
Actually, I got that from General Motors, like my day job. Like in PR, when we would, you know, hosting an event or revealing a car or whatever, they'd say surprise and delight the customers. And I'm like, that's a banger.
Yeah. And that's really, I think, what makes, it separates an event from a core memory. You know, where, you know, at any event, you're going to have food, beverages, whatever else. But if you want to elevate that and you bring in the surprise and delight little moments, you know, with the devil's in the details.
Totally.
Yeah. And, you know, and it's the napkins match this, or maybe you have a cute little party favor, and then everything is just kind of tied in together. So at each point in the event, there's somebody going, wow. Wow. And when one person does that, it elevates the event. And when more people start doing it, it elevates the event. So when you get enough people doing that, you create a frequency and vibration of joy. And that's the...
You are an amazing party host and just genius. Like genius at just the surprise and delight. You just having these tiny little things, and even if 5 people notice it, like that's all that really matters. But it's okay. So you have parties, or it's a party favor, or it's decor, or maybe it's a little game. I love doing like bits at my parties, like little running jokes or some sort of like things like that. But it's also just in like get-togethers. Like we were definitely the party house when we lived in Buckhead. We'd have these big pool parties where like everyone would come, and then like the kids would all go play, and I'd be like ringleading like 15 kids running it like the Marines, and all the parents are by the pool, and like creating community that's like based around you, and it's all of your friends and watching them become friends. How do you do that?
I think I'd make a lot of effort to make everybody feel like they're really special, and that, you know, I want them there and that they are a meaningful part of my life.
Will you talk about your dazed and confused parties?
That's one of my favorite things to talk about. I'm so glad you asked. That was epic. We had 2 of them. Mm-hmm. So the first one was before you were born on Park Drive, and that was epic. And we had people that we didn't even know showing up dressed. We had the guy with a mailbox. I had no idea who this guy is. Robe, mailbox, he's like, I'll shoot the shit out of you. Just running around. My brother was Wooderson.
Yeah.
I was Slater. I had a friend from high school make me Slater's shirt, which I also threw away. So that was that party. And then we had another one. I don't remember the year, but we had a huge blow-up movie screen. This was on Jet Road. Sent you all some. I don't even know where you all went for the weekend or the night.
I think I was there, maybe.
I don't think so. And we had a huge blow-up screen, and people were like floating in the pool watching the movie. Packed. We had a pickup truck filled with ice, tons of beer in it, and then that Kiss, the chair and the Kiss statue. We had it all, and your dad and I were Mr. and Mrs. Pickford. It was epic, and it's so funny. Every time I think of this party, there was a guy there named Ron, and he was hitting on all my friends from Agnes Sky.
Yeah.
And they were like, Ron, he's so inappropriate. To this day, I have this thing jingle on randomly at times.
Who is Ron?
I think he was a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know him if he came up and slapped me in the face right now. I have no idea who Ron was.
That is so crazy.
But he was inappropriate. Yeah. And for my friends to say you're inappropriate, I don't even know what Ron was saying.
Yeah.
I had no idea what game he was running.
Jeez, Ron.
Other than it was inappropriate.
Well, and there were koozies from that. There was party favors. And yeah, I remember I guess I must have not been home for the party, but I remember the koozies being at the house. I remember the pickup truck, something, or maybe I've just seen pictures of it. And you are definitely well into your 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can be iconic your whole life, people.
Your whole life. Yeah. I don't have anything else to say about that.
No, it's so true. So I threw my favorite party last year that I'm so proud of myself for, which was my business birthday party. And Jack and I, which is one of my favorite aspects of our relationship, is that Jack also has the party gene. He didn't necessarily get it from his parents. No offense to Keith and Julie. Shout out. Love you guys, my future in-laws. You guys are amazing. But Jack has the creativity and bringing people together, inviting everyone. And we always joke that whenever we host party, and my birthday is his birthday is my birthday. We both invest in it and come up with ideas for each other and co-host. The way that when the first guest enters the door to when our heads hit the pillow, we do not say one word to each other. We are separate constantly when we're hosting. I have no idea what he's up to, but he's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. We're both mingling. I mean, he's usually entertaining the guys. I'm usually entertaining the girls, and we'll switch every once in a while, but we do not talk.
Divide and conquer.
Unless it's we need ice.
Right.
Or tell someone to go pick this up. Or
toilet paper in the bathroom.
yeah, go fill this up. Or where's this thing? It's over here.
Economy of words.
And we also never get any pictures either, the two of us. So we each do our own things, which I love, and I feel it is a testament to just how much Jack and I really love to host and bring people together, which is why moving to New York has been so great, because in Detroit we didn't have that many friends. We weren't really able to do that, but here we're able to host these big events, and we get compliments all the time on how much fun our parties are. We got my business birthday. I had an 80s corporate themed business birthday. It was called Lily's 28th fiscal year. And we set up the apartment, moved everything around. We had a whole martini bar with pre-made martini mix, which was so cool, and a bunch of ice. I mean, we spent hours. And then when you walked in, there was a bulletin board that had OKRs, objectives and key results, and sticky pads, and everyone would write what their goal is. And then I had badges for everyone. So I printed out color printed, by the way, pictures, and I made up job titles for everyone, because it was literally heinous ink. I was the CEO, of course, and then all the guys were interns. All the straight boys were interns, and then all the girls and the gays got executive or department head positions. And then the best part was we turned this room, the second bedroom, into an office. So we put my desk in the middle and made this out to be a couch. And I would put people on PIPs, performance improvement plans, which if you're not in corporate, you're lucky. And I had these little slips of paper, and my friend was being the head of HR, the chief HR officer, and she would hand them to people. And it said, and in your performance has been flagged for review. Please report to the CEO's office.
I saw that on your refrigerator, and I thought you'd gotten in trouble with GM before I saw the...
No. Of course not.
Was that official?
I know. So then I would have people come in, and we would do like a bit basically, and I'd pretend like they were in trouble and then make them take a shot. And it was so fun, and everyone was jealous. Like, everyone wanted to get put on a pip all night. Like, put me on a pip. And then I took a huge creative risk early into the party, and I did breakout sessions, which I asked a few people before. I was like, should I do breakout sessions at the party? And people were like, no, that is a bad idea, because there was like 40 people coming. Like, it was a big party. Then I was just like, I'm gonna do it. And so about an hour into the party, when it wasn't totally full, there was a decent lull, and I was like, I'm going to do it now. So I wrote, like, on the back of everyone's badges were numbers 1 through 3, and I cut the music off and turned off the lights, and I was like, everyone, please look at your badge and the number. Groups 1 over here, 2 over here, and 3 over here. And I had assigned 3 friends as breakout session leaders. And it was so good. And it, like, crushed, too.
That's why you don't listen to people. When you have a great idea and they say don't do it, do it.
You have to believe in yourself, and you have to take creative risks. I knew, I was like, okay, this might be kind of weird. Not everyone knows each other. It might flop. People might get uncomfortable. But what's the worst that happens? Like, it's 5 minutes of kind of awkwardness, and then I turn the lights back off and music back on, and everyone keeps drinking and forgets what happened. And I'm like, it's all my friends. Like, what are you gonna do? Not be my friend? And it was so fun. I would pop into the breakout sessions, and like my friend Vivi would be like, all right, everyone say your names, your job at literally Heinous Inc., and why you work for Lily. And it was so fun. And then I ended up doing a keynote speech. And I just stood in front of the TV and was like, I don't even know what I was talking about, but being a keynote speaker. And then for the rest of the night, everyone was talking to people that they didn't know.
Brilliant. Because you got to get them connect. I think, reflecting a little bit, the most important part of an event is the connection. And people crave that.
Yeah.
They crave to be connected.
It's so true. And you can do it for big parties like how I did it. You can definitely do it for small parties, but the onus is on the host to be able to introduce 2 people and say, you like this thing, you like this thing. Oh, this is my friend blank. You guys both whatever. And even if it's like dumb or random, it's the best thing that you can do. And then the reward of your friends from different circles knowing each other, it pays itself off tenfold. Yeah. Like, I had a friend the other day, Laurel, text me for Emily's phone number. And I was like, I don't even remember when they met, but whatever. I was like, happy that they met. I don't know, it's just like nice. And then it might be kind of awkward the first few times. And of course, everyone has to be willing. You can't have losers as friends, okay? Like, everyone needs to be willing to meet other people, but you might have to do it a couple times. And then, because we've been in New York for, I guess it was just at 2 years when I hosted my business party. When we host these parties, everyone's recognizing each other. And it doesn't feel like an awkward kind of hodgepodge.
Become more familiar with each other because they've been connected.
Yeah. So that was my favorite party that I've hosted. Jack last year did an amazing pub golf birthday. So he did like a golf themed bar crawl, and he made these great golf booklets that were so cute. We went to 9 different holes, like bars. And he did like a drink special for each bar and was like, if you get this, it's a birdie. If you get this, it's a par. I don't play golf. I don't know. But it was really fun, and everyone dressed up like super preppy. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that Jack is...
You all are marriage made in heaven. Just perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why your wedding's going to be so epic.
Okay, so let's talk about the wedding. Okay, so what are you most excited for?
Oh my God, to see you.
Okay, besides that.
I can't. I mean, that's my honest answer. My next thing is just to gather all the people. And we're talking people from all walks of life and all areas of your life. And that to me is exciting. And then I love, back to the details. That is exciting to me, to think about, the matchbooks that we'll put in the restrooms or wherever, the signature drinks that we've had fun naming, your cape for the dress, just all the little tiny things. That's what I love. Yeah. And I'm excited about seeing all of that come together, because you and I share a vision, and that excites me to to know that there's going to be a day in May of 2027 where all of that culminates.
Yes. So you did an amazing job planning my surprise engagement party. How did you come up with some of the ideas for that? Because you crushed it. What were you most proud of?
Oh gosh, I was most proud of, I think just that, again, the little details, like the little pictures of you and Jack that were on top of the buntinis. Buntinis are great on their own, but putting those little pictures of you all on top of it, the little things that I ordered from Etsy that were personalized, and the gems. I got that idea from you from your cake.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm ordering these gems, and I find out that they're actually waterproof play toys. So Julian, with the grand boys, he came in and his eyes lit up, and at the end of the party, he got to take all the gems.
Yeah.
And for him, that's what he'll remember was like, wow, I got this big, huge bag of gems there.
Yeah, he's rich in the gems. I'm so excited. One of my favorite parts, so I always tell people, Jack and I have been together for a long time, I guess 8 years, which is a really long time, I'm aware. And then people would kind of be like, or I don't know, I would sense from people that we got, why aren't you guys engaged yet? Or how did it take 7.5 years to get engaged? No one really says that, but I can see it in their eyes.
You can feel it.
I can feel it. And because I'm like, the God's honest truth is I knew that the second I got engaged, wedding planning would take over my life. And I wanted to. I wanted to be able to give it every ounce. And I just didn't want to get engaged until I was really okay, now I'm ready to plan a wedding. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it took us, a year. A year to get settled in New York, and then some stuff with my job, and I just wanted to really be able to focus on it. But yeah, we got engaged on a Saturday, November 29th, and then the next 5 days we toured 10 venues.
Yeah.
Everyone freaks out when I say that. It kind of
It's just 2 a day.
It's really easy. It doesn't even feel that crazy to me, but people are 10. I was my mom scheduled 5 venue tours the week after we got engaged. We ended up touring 10.
Because that's how we roll.
We're crazy. Mm-hmm. I have friends who've gotten engaged and they haven't even toured venues yet. I'm then why would you get engaged?
Well, I knew that we had your time in Atlanta is limited, and since that's what we do, we have pretty easy access to venues and, the people that run them. And it felt like a normal, natural thing to do to just reach out to all of them and schedule it while you were there. And I'm veering wildly off topic. Well, not wildly, but I just got to give some props to Tiny Cat. That cat has nerves of steel. The way he handled your engagement, props to him.
Tell the engagement from your perspective.
Well, from my perspective, he called in September. Mm-hmm. And he told me that he wanted to do...
Called on the phone?
He called on the phone.
So classy.
And he told me what he was going to do. And he said, I want to have the family involved because Lily's favorite engagement was a friend of yours that had their family be a part of it, and I don't know to whom he's referring. And he goes, so I want to do that, and the best way I can think to do it is that Thanksgiving weekend, which September to Thanksgiving felt like 20 years. And he said, we got to keep it a surprise, of course. So in September, I knew that you were going to be proposed to right after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And I led a double life. From September to November. And that harkens back to my running days when I could live a double life pretty easily. So from September to November, Thanksgiving time, I would have conversations with you and we get pretty deep. Mm-hmm. But I had a whole separate thing going on that I could not even mention to you. And, planning the party and reaching out to the restaurants and asking Jack questions and booking the restaurant and then finalizing the menu. And all of this whole other life was going on underneath everything that you and I would talk about on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That was an amazing feat. Amazing. I am so impressed.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I'm impressed with Jack, really, more than anything. But I am impressed with myself because I have been known to just blow a surprise.
Same. I've ruined 3 surprise parties.
That makes me feel better.
Like, blatantly 3 surprise parties ruined. And I don't even know what's wrong with me. Like, I genuinely don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, for me, I know that sometimes I'll just get to talking.
Yeah.
And it just will come out. So when I would talk with you, I would have to have like a Lily's calling, shut that box, and only talk out of this box. And I did it. And that was, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Because that's hard for me.
You should be.
No.
Yeah, Jack crushed it.
I mean, even in Cabo, you know, there was a moment in Cabo, I think, that you were kind of thinking you might be proposed to. And I knew Jack had the ring with him.
Yeah.
And I texted him, and I was like, you know, if you like are feeling the vibes in Cabo and you want to go ahead and do it, we won't be mad. We can still have the surprise party and all of that. And my nickname for him is Nerves of Steel.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just held the line. He let you do your thing. He kept on going, and he pulled it off.
Yeah. I mean, he really did. He's the most, like, steady person that I know. Just very calm all the time. And, yeah, the actual, like, way he proposed, he said that he was freaking out and, like, was, like, heart pounding and, like, because the ring was in his pocket. And I still had no idea. It was such a surprise that it wasn't even, like, romantic at all, because I was more just like, what is going on? Like, this?
Mind blown.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Shock factor.
And then the engagement part. I mean, you, like, because he proposed at the river, the river near my dad's house, and we always go. It was my idea to go on a walk too, so I wasn't even
He
like
accepted it.
Yeah, which he later told me that he incepted, but I would have. And then even like the reason we were at my dad's house is because my dad incepted like a few days before. He was like, "Oh, Ohio State plays Michigan. Like, do you guys want to just come over and watch it on Saturday?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Didn't think about it. Just felt so normal. You were out of town, or so I thought. I mean, you were, but like just up in the mountains.
And you tried to trick me.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they know that?
I don't know. Okay. So that like week, so we were in Cabo for like the week leading up to Thanksgiving. Then we were back in Atlanta. We were supposed to be in Atlanta for like a whole other week, which I thought was just, Thanksgiving, and then I had a comedy show the next weekend. And my mom, I was hoping I didn't want to get proposed to in Cabo, and I told him that a while ago because that was like my dad's trip, and like I didn't really want to like whatever. And so I knew I wasn't going to get proposed to in Cabo, but then I got mad at myself for not saying that, because then I still wasn't engaged to, and I don't know why I didn't think I'd get engaged when I got back from Cabo. I don't know, but basically I got it in my head that he was going to propose in like January or something, and I was like, God, January is the worst. Wait, where was it? Okay, yeah. And then we were back at your house after Thanksgiving. You leave to go up to the mountains and borrow my suitcase.
Okay, and we got to tell this part. Like, I am so believing my own lie that I am packing according to my lie, not what's really happening.
Yeah, so her lie was that she was going up to the mountains with Michael for like 4 or 5 days or something. That was the lie. The truth was that they were only going for like 2 days and then coming back for the surprise proposal. I thought they'd be gone for 5 days. You asked to borrow my suitcase because you were gone for so long. Which is ridiculous.
I believe my own lie. That's great lying.
And so I give her my suitcase knowing that I have an Apple AirTag in it. So I was like, maybe I should take the AirTag out. But I was like, but what if like Jack's proposing, and then that way I can figure out if she's coming back or not. Because I was like, there's no way that Jack would propose with my mom being out of town. I was like, that's out of the question. He would never do that, propose in Atlanta with you not there. And then so I did leave the Apple AirTag in it on purpose.
So I had no idea. And Michael and I get to Blue Ridge, and we're sitting on the couch, and he gets a notification that an AirTag is tracking him. And I went, God damn it, Willie's tracking us. Jump off up the couch. And I went in and I unzipped the inner pocket, and I pulled the AirTag out, and I sat it on our bathroom counter.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. So when Jack proposed, I was like, there's no way you're proposing right now because my mom's not here. Why would you do this when my mom's out of town? And then we go back, and then you're there, thankfully. And then you were like, oh my God, I discovered you left an AirTag in there. And I was like, oh no.
Oops.
It's like, I did that on purpose. I was like, I could have taken it out, but I didn't. I don't like to be surprised.
You were.
I was.
Yeah. surprised your butt off.
Yeah. So what has been your favorite part of wedding planning so far, and what has surprised you the most?
You know, I'm going to say spending time with you has been my favorite part.
Okay.
Seeing you in your dress, and you were made to wear a wedding dress. Every dress that you put on was gorgeous and would have been perfect. And when you put on the dress that you chose, my heart skipped a beat and I gasped.
Yes.
And it was, you know, and I want to always be careful of not to put too much of my opinion onto you. And so you will make your own choice, but I don't want to be part of that. So I kind of stepped back and I was like, please, God, let her take this dress. Let this be the one. And you ended up, you slept on it. And Giovanna's it.
The dress is insane, everyone. Yeah. So I didn't even update, but yeah, went to Atlanta like a month ago to do a bunch of wedding stuff. We tried on 3.
And we look great in all of them.
Like, I always say we, but yeah, we did 2 like contemporary, like modern dresses, and then we did 1 vintage dress collector. And I knew I wasn't sure that I'd like something there, because I feel like vintage wedding dresses get a rap for being like crazy poofy and ugly, but this vintage collector, Gossamer, she has some really good stuff.
Gorgeous.
So Gossamer is a mostly bridal vintage collector, and she travels. She goes to LA trunk shows, she goes to New York trunk shows, and she's also available online. And her one flagship, it's not even a store, she runs it out of her house, is in Georgia, 30 minutes from where you live.
30 minutes away.
And it was $100 to make an appointment, non-refundable, but it was totally worth it, because I mean, this woman has these amazing dresses, and
not just wedding gowns, like that 60s kind of.
There were tons of other dresses there.
Gorgeous.
And just cool. Like, the difference is, after spending 2 days of trying on like modern wedding dresses, like Jenny Yu, who's kind of like a really popular designer right now, versus trying on vintage dresses, and especially the one that we got, like the difference in the quality and the structure and the craftsmanship and just everything, it's night and day. Totally recommend going vintage. And also, like, no one's gonna have it.
And no one's gonna have it.
And there were some really like cool, kind of funky, crazy ones that I was like, there was a few that I'm like, that I don't wish I got it, but I'm like, someone needs to get this, because it's awesome.
And I think Zoe's name came up like 3 or 4 times.
Yes. Yeah, definitely look at vintage if you can, and it's cheaper too.
Yeah, less expensive for sure.
Like this dress was hundreds, if not in some cases thousands of dollars cheaper.
Which my first thought when I realized that was, ooh, we've got a big budget for shoes now.
Yeah. So
that's been my most favorite thing. The most surprising thing is, you know, I haven't really been surprised by anything yet, but we've got a long runway, and we're in the fun part, and this is in our blood, so this is like normal and natural and easy and fun for us. And I have, no friends that don't or haven't had that experience.
Yeah.
And so I know that, there's going to be some dicey times. There's going to be surprises. But so far, I'm really surprised at how much we've gotten done so easily. I think that would be the most surprising thing, is we built the wedding house quickly.
Yeah. So the wedding house is venue, decor, catering,
photographer, entertainment,
the
big things,
planner. That's the wedding house. I mean, we had the wedding house done by February 1st.
Right.
And that's also thanks to our venue is like a big legendary events that, like, I don't know how to explain it, but they have like built-in catering, pastry, bar, florals, decor. So, I mean, that's a ton of vendors that we don't even need to get.
Yeah, like a phrase that would not do legendary events or flourish any justice at all. But what comes to mind is like one-stop shopping, like, because so much of that is under their roof.
Yeah.
That we say, we meet with Michelle and V, and we have our vision, and then they have a whole team that executes so many pieces of that we don't even have to think about.
Yeah, like their kitchen can make anything. Their pastry chef can do anything. The bar can do anything.
Floral design can make anything.
We don't have to get a florist, and we don't have to get a decor person. We don't need to get like
a baker,
outside catering. Like, they all work together and they all communicate. So that's just great.
And I want to tell a story around that.
Yeah.
One of the most meaningful parts of this was really looking at venues and running into reconnecting with people that my dad had trained. And, I often forget what an impact he had on the service industry in Atlanta. And, we went to 10 venues. Probably 5 of the people knew my dad. Michelle had been trained by my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legacy.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It was really cool. And it was cool to hear funny stories about your dad because
Father.
Well, he insisted that the grandkids call him grandfather. And he was always old to me. And I guess he was 38 when he had you, so I don't remember. But I just always remember him being, like, old, which is, like, typical of
Grouchy.
grandfathers are old. And, yeah, he was grouchy, for sure. I didn't really, like, connect with him intently necessarily. Like, my only, like, his house was weird. I don't know. His cat hid under the bed. I don't know. It was just not, like, kid centric.
He wasn't kid centric.
Yeah.
So right here, right now, if you wanted to go back and connect my dots, we would go back to my childhood and my relationship with my father.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And he was fun sometimes.
He was hilarious.
Yeah.
And he could be very fun and very funny, but you didn't know what you might do or say that would flip that switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was...
That's why, God rest his soul, connecting with these women, especially that were empowered by my father and are now doing what he did because he taught them and trained them how to do it.
Yeah. It was really cool to hear from, like, women that, like, oh my God, I loved
John Hallway.
Like, he was so funny. And I'm like, really? But it makes sense. I'm like, I do feel like he would be fun to work for. As, like, a father and grandfather, maybe not so much, but as, like, a younger, impressionable female coworker.
And at one of our venues, I'm looking at this lady, I'm like, I know her. And then she starts to talk, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Barbara. She was my wedding planner. In 1991, she was planning the wedding, 91 and 92, with my father. And she, was starting to walk away. I was like, Barbara, I'm John Hallway's daughter. And it was just this kumbaya moment. We talked about dads. To your point, it's so nice to have that kind of gruff, grouchy facet of him. Balanced out with this really cool, loving, funny person that trained all of these people, and they loved to work with him. Women loved my dad.
Yeah. Talk about Be Friendly.
Be Friendly was a game that he played with all of us. And I don't even know when it started. I was a teenager. And we would go to school. He'd be taking me wherever. And if he saw somebody on the street, he would honk. And we would wave at him like we knew him. And he would call that game Be Friendly. And I still play Be Friendly.
So our venue manager was telling us, she'd be like, oh my God, your dad. Like, when we would drive over to venues or meet clients, he would do this thing where we'd honk at people in other cars and wave. And then he'd say, well, all day they're going to wonder who they know that drives a Honda Civic or whatever. So she was saying that. And then you were like, oh, Be Friendly. It's a hallway class.
It's a game.
Yeah, we know Be Friendly. What kind of party planning or hosting advice do you have?
So one of the biggest elements of a party for me that I really enjoyed was having beautiful glasses and cocktailware. And I collected highballs, martini glasses, champagne flutes, cocktail glasses, all of the things. And so I made sure that everybody, when they came over, got to pick a beautiful glass to drink out of. And this is mango lemonade. Everything tastes better out of a beautiful glass.
Yes. My mom used to have, but you still do have a lot of them. But
I kept my very favorites. I kept my very favorite glasses, and then I had a box of glasses that I loved. And people that had been to parties over the years, when they would have a birthday or something, I would gift people either a glass or if it had another glass.
So iconic. Her glasses, some of them had feathers on them, jewels glued to them, or really pretty, painted of like cute girls on it, and just so much fun and so cool. So you got married in 1991. 92. Well, you got remarried, but your big wedding when you were a young lass was 92. The wedding industry now, so much has changed. What is like something about weddings today or a trend that you love that you, if you were a modern bride, would do?
That's so interesting because when I got married, and I kid you not, my dad planned the entire thing with Barbara. And I pretty much showed up at the wedding. I can't really think of anything because our wedding was epic.
Yeah.
It really was. And I think we set trends.
Yeah.
To some degree, not to, make myself all that important, but we had, it's called an ice sockle at the wedding, and nobody had seen it before. And it's hard to describe, but if you could imagine like a big circle, like a trough in a circle, and there was an ice sculpture in the middle of that. And in that circle around it, there was ice, and there were bottles of vodka that had been frozen in a circular something, so that when you picked up the bottle, it was encircled in ice, and it had been sitting in ice, and there were shot glasses all around the circle. So people came out of the wedding and saw the ice sockle station, and people got lit. People still tell stories from that wedding. Sunday school room. I'm not going to say anything more.
My parents' wedding, 1992, was at Orve Shalom Synagogue, and y'all tore it up. Because they were young. You were only 22 when you got married.
I was the first one of my friends to get married. We had just graduated from college, and everybody was prepping for that wedding.
And my dad was only 25 or 26.
It's 7.
27?
He's 5 years older than me.
You were groomed. No, it's totally fine. But no, I can't imagine. I mean, the timing of that is perfect. Like, imagine like your best friend like getting married the week after you graduate college in this insane wedding with a vodka ice luge at some synagogue. The synagogue's not necessarily cute.
Oh, we transformed it. But it was magical.
Yeah.
Dad pulled in every favor that he had in the industry.
Yeah.
Sylvia Weinstock did our wedding cake, and I think she might still be around. And it wasn't a real cake, but from New York, she shipped to Atlanta, I think, a 5-foot, 5-tiered wedding cake. So that looked like our wedding cake.
Yeah.
Everything, the floral, everything was just epic.
Yeah. I'm excited to
recreate that.
Yeah, even though our venue doesn't allow liquor shots or bottles, which is fine, because that is a liability. I don't want people drinking out of vodka handles early. But, I mean, it's an open bar. People still get crazy. And I'm glad, I feel like, times have definitely shifted. You got married at 22, which was definitely young then, for sure. But, now it's... I would say we're not the first of our friends to get engaged, but we're definitely earlier on the wedding circuit, which I'm happy about, because I like the idea of people being excited for my wedding and not like, I don't know, you hear a lot of stories, and this makes me sad, about like single women or single people that have gone to every one of their friends' events and gone to the bachelorettes and did all the things and was fun and crazy and went to the wedding and was fun and crazy there and then supported with the babies, and then when it's time for them to get married or them to have a bachelorette, friends are like pregnant or then they have kids, and I'm like, God, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you can't fault them for that. You can't be mad at someone for not drinking while pregnant,
Yeah.
But...
And what I love about you all getting married later, too, is that you have had time to find out to some degree, and you've done a lot of work, so you've had time to find out who you are and what you stand for, so that as you age and you and Jack, grow in your relationship, you will grow together.
I think that, living together before you get engaged is so crucial.
Yes.
You and Dad did.
Yeah.
For a little, That's crucial. And you were also married for 25 years, okay? It's not like you got divorced because you got married too young. Or would you say that?
That was kind of... I do feel like I got married too young. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt is that we were supposed to bring you and Vic onto the planet, and that everything happened exactly as it was supposed to be to accomplish that mission.
Yeah.
And I have no regrets.
Yeah.
About that. Not one.
Yeah. What kind of advice do you have for like young women in relationships or those who are single?
I'm just going to go back to know yourself. Really and truly spend time with yourself, get to know yourself, your internal landscape, your values, what you believe in, what makes you happy, what you won't tolerate, non-negotiables. And be comfortable with yourself and who you are, and keep an open mindset. Always be willing to grow and change and morph, because the minute you quit doing that is the minute you close down and you start withering away.
I think something that I've seen a lot recently is women that get divorced who've been the stay-at-home mom for so long. They get divorced and all of a sudden you're 38, 35, 40, whatever, and you haven't worked.
Yes.
And now you're on your own. And you taught and substitute taught, but Premier, you were a stay-at-home mom, generally.
Yeah.
Do you wish that you would have had more of a career before you got divorced?
Well, I loved teaching, and I consider that a career. What I really wish is that I had kept up with technology, because I didn't. And so when I did, when I was starting to create soul stretch retreats, I had no idea how to do anything, none at all. And that was a handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why that open mindset, take classes, online courses, pursue your hobbies and your interests, like get real right with yourself.
Yeah.
Before you try to share yourself with somebody else.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't want to give advice because whatever, but I think something that I'm always remembering to do and what I always will do and like what I would tell other people is like, especially as women, like just because you get married, like doesn't mean it's over and you can like stop, you have to like always be working on yourself, because like no one will ever love you and support you and cares about you as much as you care about yourself and your mom, of course. But like at the end of the day, like husbands don't mean shit. I mean, they can turn on you, they can like shit can happen, they can die. I don't know, like you can't just like, you got to keep your eye on the prize. Like you have to be like working on either like not a career or like something, or staying up to date, have your own money, like have your own bank account. That's everything that I've seen. It's not enough to just like be a wife.
Have your own thoughts, have your own values, have your own beliefs. And you can ask yourself this question. It's an easy answer. Who do you spend the most time with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year since the moment you were born? Yourself. And you've got to like yourself and love yourself before other people can.
Back to the technology classes. Do you remember taking a PowerPoint class together? You did try.
I tried.
You did try. I was like really young, but you took a PowerPoint class at like a nearby school, and I went with you, and it was so much fun. And I remember making my PowerPoint on Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because it just came out, and I was like obsessed with that movie, and I like made a slide. I'm like, this is Bridget, played by Blake Lively. She's the sporty one. This is Carmen. She's supposed to be the fat one, even though she's not. But I wasn't woke back then. Okay, well, let's do a little chic or freak and a wrap up. So I didn't prepare any chic or freak, so I'm just going to come up with them, and if you have any ideas, then you can suggest them.
Okay.
Chic or freak aura readings?
Ooh, chic.
Okay.
Am I supposed to say something else?
No, that's enough. Chic or freak tarot readings?
Very chic.
Okay. Chic or freak ayahuasca?
I'm in the middle on that one. It can be very chic, and some people will make it freak.
Yeah.
Plus minus.
I think, yeah, like ayahuasca and tripping, it's definitely something that I think you need to be like 40 plus to do, in my opinion.
I have some people that people in this space, energy workers, and they just write these like banger emails, and they have like these huge insights, and I read their stuff, and there's a couple of them that I know for a fact that they've gotten all of that information because they've tripped to some degree or another.
There's nothing that's like that good from a trip that you couldn't come up with on your own.
Well, that's how I feel. That's a very personal opinion. I feel like it's important for me to be able to do it as me, not have to have an alternative substance to make that happen. And I also really enjoyed the psychedelic retreat that we went on, and I had some profound experiences.
Yes. I have an earlier episode from 2 or 3 years ago about a psychedelic retreat that my mom and Michael went on, so I'll link that in the comments. I did not go on it. We is you and Michael.
Yeah, that we is me and Michael.
Okay. Chic or freak dating apps?
Freak. I know they're useful, but for me, my age and the things that my friends have shown me, I think freak.
Yeah, I definitely feel like when you're like going for like the older guys, there's nothing good that an old man will have on a dating app. Respectfully. Shout out to the old men. Okay, chic or freak Botox.
Well, I'm going to say Chic.
She's back.
Yeah, I'll say Chic on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I had for a long time this belief that if I put botulism in my third eye, my office would quit working. And I read something open-minded enough that compared that to believing that if you color your hair, that your crown chakra is going to be blocked. I'm like, I've been coloring my hair since high school, and I am real connected.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that, and I've got some Botox plans for the wedding, I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah. Chic or freak Gwyneth Paltrow?
Freak.
Why?
I just don't like her.
I kind of like Gwyneth.
I don't.
Why?
She just gives me an ick vibe.
Yeah.
You know, just one of those, that girl that's just too cool for school. And, you know, I don't think I ever want to smell a candle that smells like somebody's vagina.
Yeah. That's
You know, I
old
just
news.
don't. Well,
Yeah.
it's just...
Okay. I'll do a couple more.
All right.
Chic or freak twin flames?
I believe freak. It can be a cool concept, but there are people, again, that will take it and extrapolate it. And there's a whole cult around twin flames, Twin Flame University or something like that.
Can you explain what your perception of twin flame
My
is?
perception of twin flame is another human being on the planet that mirrors you in a way that brings up everything about you. Mm-hmm. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and the things that you don't want to see. And your relationship with them is a transformational one that really kind of takes you into the depths of the darkest parts of you. And some people get stuck there. And they, you know, twin flame, twin flame, twin flame, twin flame. The point of a twin flame is you're to go there and then do the work down there to bring yourself up like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a healthy, chic twin flame.
Yeah.
The freak part is when people get stuck in the twin flame and that becomes their identity.
But the twin flame is another person.
Yes.
So it can be like a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Yeah, platonic.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of another human that reflects back to you who you are at your deepest parts.
Do you think you have a twin flame?
I think Michael and I have. Yes, I think Michael's my twin flame, and I think he's my soulmate, which was why flame mate.
Flame mate.
Stuck.
That is funny. Yeah, we have a saying that I really like a lot, spot it, got it. Mm-hmm. And it's like a lot of times if there's someone that is just pissing you off, and it's not all the time, but occasionally if there's someone that really makes you mad that you just hate and you can't explain why, a lot of times it's because they exhibit behavior that you also exhibit, mm-hmm. or they're kind of a mirror of you.
Mm-hmm. And it's usually something you don't like about yourself.
That you may not even know that you do, or maybe like you subconsciously know that you do, or they remind you of yourself really subconsciously. So if you ever have a person in your life like that, just take a minute to be like, do I hate them because I'm just like them? And maybe not, like, that's totally fair too, but it's definitely worth exploring because then you can see the behavior in someone else.
Right.
Being like, oh, why do I hate that so much? Other people must hate when I do that, so I should probably stop.
You asked the most important question right there. Why? Why are they upsetting me so much? Why am I so triggered about that? Is there something within you that's being triggered?
For me, it's jealousy. Like, I can think of one girl from high school who would always trigger me, and she never even did anything really, but I was 100% jealous of her. And then I even ran into her in New York, and it kind of like sent me on like a tizzy a little bit. And I'm like, why am I like, this girl has done nothing to me, and I know that I'm jealous of her. So why is it that like when I see her, I want to be like, oh my god, I can't even believe that she said that. Like, what? Why?
What does she have that you want?
Oh, she's just like cooler than me, and like nonchalant and pretty, and like just, you know, just like that.
All the things that you are.
No. I mean, jealousy is huge. And comparison, and especially like with celebrities and like comedians or like podcasters. I'll just like will have beef with like Jake Shane, therapist, and I'm like, he's done nothing wrong. I'm just jealous of him. Like, yes, I'm jealous that, you know who I'm talking about? He like blew up on TikTok a few years ago, and he's just sort of become like the celebrity pet, like the chosen. Like,
he'd be like Mel Robbins is to me.
Oh, I hate Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is a grifter, and she's a fraud. I'll send you this. Celebrity Memoir Book Club did an episode just like deep diving on her and just like all this stuff that she's like stolen from people and just like fact checked the shit out of her book. And it's like, no, you didn't. No, you weren't. You didn't fall into this. You've been trying to whatever.
Yeah. But and that jealousy and that I agree with you about the character, and that's not what I'm jealous of. What feels like, God, how can I know that I'm 1,000 times more authentic than that?
Yeah.
And I get 9 views.
Yeah. I just also think that social media, it's like it rewards people that are fucking crazy.
It does. And I refuse to be fucking crazy. I've recovered from being fucking crazy. I'm not going to go back and be fucking crazy in another way.
There are creators that I do believe are genuinely good people, like Brooke Averick, Benny Skinner, Mary Beth Barone, like people that I love and I genuinely do believe that they're good. But then there's some other people that I'm like,
yeah, like my Lee Harris, my Molly McCord.
Yeah. Or like the Mel Robbinses, and I also, I'm not saying anything bad about Jake Shane, but people just love him, and I like him too. I think he's funny, and that's why I'm jealous or whatever. But like, I don't think he's a bad person. I don't know. Like with social media, I do have good luck on social media. What I will say, I've had tons of videos go viral over the year, but I'm not great at like posting every thought that I have or like taking risks, or I'll have funny ideas for videos and then sometimes I'll record it, post it, sometimes I'll forget about it, but I just don't have it in me to like live and breathe social media.
You're not a court jester. You are not built that way. You have a lot more integrity, authenticity, and you're way chicer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yes, my podcast is my space. I mean, this is my favorite medium because I can just like talk freely and not have to like edit into a 30-second clip or like manage. I don't know. I also hate like metrics for social media. I'm like, I don't want to know how many people viewed my story. I don't want to know how many people shared it. I'm like, I don't care. Okay. Like, it's fun to get views.
Can I just be free to be me?
It's fun to get views. It's fun. I love funny comments. I love when people like chime in and like, so I'll make a video about something funny and someone will comment something that makes it even funnier. Like on my kale one, someone commented, like, this is so middle school guidance counselor when you walk in unexpected. And I immediately thought of Miss King. Do you remember Lily King?
Yes.
Icon, by the way.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm like, yeah, that's so true. So I'm like, that's fun. And I guess that's what like social media is to me, just like when I'm in the mood and whatever.
You know what? I just think it should feed our souls, not suck our souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been an amazing episode.
Yes,
Mom,
thank
you
you.
killed it. If you want to plug anything, now's the time.
Follow me, Soul Stretch Retreats. Think about coming on a retreat. If you want to do some work, you can hit me up through Lily. You can reach out to me through all the channels. And I love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.